Hey guys, I'm Gwen Waits with Parks and Recreation Department in Biloxi. Today we are going to be making a banana pudding. I'll give you the list of ingredients first. So you're going to need a family size instant vanilla pudding, and with that you're going to need 3 cups of cold milk. We also will need a can of sweetened condensed milk, 4 to 5 bananas, a box of vanilla wafers, an 8-ounce container of Cool Whip, and a block of cream cheese. I'm going to start with mixing up my pudding and cutting up my bananas. So you'll just pour your pudding mix into a mixing bowl, pour in your milk, and then you can start mixing it. This will need to be mixed about 2 minutes, and it'll thicken up on its own. You can chill it if you want to in between, but for the purposes of this video, we'll just go ahead and build our banana pudding. Alright, so now we have mixed up our pudding with the 3 cups of milk. We sat it in the fridge for about 5 minutes to get it thick, nice and thick. And next we're going to add our cream cheese. This cream cheese does need to be soft, so it will need to sit out for a little while before you make this. So we're going to add that to our mix, and we're also going to use our mixer to mix that in real good with the pudding. Now that that's all mixed in, you're going to want to stir it around just a little bit just to make sure you got everything all mixed good and off the side of your bowl. From here, you're going to use your 8-ounce Cool Whip. Now this you don't want to mix, you'll want to fold this in, but we are using the whole container. So you'll just fold these ingredients together. And then this is where you're going to add in your sweetened condensed milk. Because it doesn't have enough calories without this. We're just going to keep mixing that in until everything's incorporated. Alright, we are now ready to build our banana pudding. I went ahead and cut up the bananas. That is 5 bananas cut up. Alright. I like to do a disposable pan because typically I'm bringing it somewhere. That way I don't have to worry about getting a dish back. And then you're going to want to layer your mixture on the bottom. And this is just so your first layer of cookies has pudding to sit in, so they'll start softening up. Right, now we're ready for some cookies. just layer them on top. It doesn't have to be anything pretty, because you're going to keep making layers until you get to the top. Alright, and then we're going to do a layer of bananas. And from there, you just keep layering it until you're out of your pudding mixture. Right, this layer I'm going to do my bananas before the cookies so they don't get brown. They'll be underneath the cookies. We're just going to get them all in there. Do another layer of your cookies. Sometimes I crush them and do crushed cookies on top. Sometimes I do layers. Alright, and that is my banana pudding. Hope you guys like it as much as my family does. Thank y'all so much.
Hey, Cal Costas here, making a little roux for the sauce pecan. We got everything prepped, got our shrimp ready, and just got to keep stirring this, make sure it don't burn.
There you go. Making.
Right now we're just boiling some rice so we can have it on the sides where we're going to pour all the sauce on top of and later.
Yeah.
And now we're cooking the shrimp. I'll do it in small batches so they all cook evenly. We don't have enough room to cook all the shrimp evenly at first. Then we'll season them in the pan. Usually we'll cook them inside of the sauce, but to speed up the process, we'll cook them on the side and then throw them in the pot later.
If you do cook them in the pot, do it at the very end, because you can overcook shrimp pretty quick.
Right now we're seasoning with seasonal and black pepper and a little bit of garlic pepper. How long does it take to cook them? We're seasoning them right now, and then we'll throw them in here and finish them off.
All right, we got the mushrooms cooking down. I'm going to continue to stir this occasionally. I got it on medium heat right now. When these mushrooms are cooked down how you like it, nice and tender, I'm going to cut it on simmer, and I'm going to add my shrimp here shortly and let it simmer for just a little bit and probably cut it off, and all that flavor is going to soak in. All right, we're cooking our sausage down now. You can do it one of two ways. You can either put it in the pot and let it simmer, but we're gonna save on time today. We're gonna cook it on the side. Another thing that does is if you don't want a lot of grease in your sauce pecan, you can drain some of that grease out, you know, make it a little bit healthier. All right, we're adding the sausage now. I'm gonna put this on simmer. We're gonna let that cook down a little bit, let it simmer for a while, and I'm gonna taste it probably every 30 minutes to an hour and add any seasoning as needed, any seasonal or black pepper or garlic powder. And toward the end, I'll add my shrimp, taste it again, and we'll be done. All right, we're adding the shrimp now. Go ahead, Austin. We're adding it now. We're gonna let it simmer for a little while and shut it off and let that flavor soak in. I hope y'all enjoy this like we have. We're about to eat good. Y'all try this at any family or friend gathering. You can cook a lot with this. You can also, you don't have to use shrimp. If you like chicken or other things, me and my wife like to do chicken thighs or something like that. So you can replace the meat with that or any wild game. Y'all enjoy. So I said, bon.
Hello, I'm John Major with Biloxi Public Affairs, and I'm going to share a quick, easy recipe for bacon-wrapped tater tots. These can be cooked in either an air fryer or an oven, so I tested them in both ways to see which way gives the better result. What you'll need are frozen tater tots, and for best results, use pre-cooked bacon to reduce the grease and make them crispier. First, you'll cut the bacon in either halves or thirds, and that's basically whichever one wraps completely around a tater tot. Then wrap a strip of bacon around each one. Place them with the bacon seam side down on your cooking tray or straight in the air fryer basket. You repeat this process with all the tater tots and bacon. Then you can use toothpicks if you need to, just to keep the bacon secure. For the air fryer, go ahead and preheat it to 400 degrees and then cook them for 15 minutes or until the bacon is crispy and the tater tots are golden. If you're using the oven, preheat it to 400 degrees and line a bacon sheet with parchment paper. Set the bacon sheet in your oven and bake the wrapped tater tots for 25 minutes or until the bacon is crispy and the tots are golden. Then when they're done, transfer them to rest on a paper towel lined tray to reduce some of the bacon grease. Then pile the hot, crispy wrapped tater tots into a serving bowl or onto a platter and serve with your favorite dipping sauce like ranch or barbecue. And what I discovered is the air fryer process is much faster, only around 15 minutes, and they turn out crispier and with less oil. The only downside is you can't cook quite as many of them at once. The oven process takes longer, 25 minutes rather than 15, and they're not quite as crispy, but it's better for large batches, which you're probably going to want because these go very quickly.
Yes, this is Alvin Baker. I'm preparing to make a banana pudding representing the Port Division for the city of Biloxi. This is a sweep of the ingredients that I use. This is a mixture with 4 bananas, cream, 2 cream cheese, cream, and 2 condensed milk. Getting ready to add the next 3 parts. Okay, this is a mixture now. I added 2 Jell-O packs of the coal and 3 cups of milk. I'm getting ready to add the vanilla and some marshmallows and then some Cool Whip. And now I'm gonna add some marshmallows and then we'll have to go decorate the plates and put the vanilla wafers and the banana slices into it. And now I'm getting ready to put the complete pudding into the bowls lined with vanilla wafers and bananas. Okay, the bananas are cut, the vanilla wafers have 1 layer on the bottom. I'm gonna layer it now with bananas, then I'm gonna pour in the pudding. Okay, this is the finished dish. I'm gonna put it in the refrigerator. It should stay in the refrigerator good overnight.
Good morning, my name is William Shipton and I am the Systems Administrator at the Biloxi Police Department. Today I'm going to walk you through my process for making chicken and sausage gumbo. Gumbo is a great dish for large or small gatherings because it can easily be doubled or tripled depending on what you have going on, and honestly, how much arm strength you have. In the end, though, it's a rich, smoky, hearty, and absolutely worth the time. The heart and soul of the dish, the roux, we're going to be using vegetable oil and flour. I prefer vegetable oil because of its high smoke point and overall cost. Canola oil and avocado oil are also great choices. For the flour, I like to use a higher quality white flour such as King Arthur, but honestly any white flour will work just fine. For vegetables, we're using the Cajun Holy Trinity, onions, celery, and bell peppers. For the base, we're going to use chicken and broth. Now if you're a traditionalist, you can absolutely boil down a whole chicken to make your own stock. I, on the other hand, have 2 children under 10, so I use better than bouillon and keep my sanity intact. For sausage, I prefer a good quality andouille. I've also used a combination of turkey smoked sausage and andouille if I want a little less heat. For the chicken, I'll always recommend boneless chicken thighs. In a pinch, you can use chicken breasts, but just be careful because it can dry out pretty quickly. For seasoning, I use a blend of paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, chipotle pepper powder, Italian seasoning, and of course, Tony's. I'll also throw in a couple bay leaves during the final simmer. Tool-wise, you're going to need a large, heavy-bottom pot or Dutch oven, a sturdy spoon for stirring, measuring cups, and the usual kitchen basics. In my opinion, making gumbo is like painting a room. It's all about the prep work. So I spend a bit of time getting everything ready before I actually start cooking. To start, we're going to combine our seasonings as follows: 2½ teaspoons of paprika, 2 tablespoons of Tony's, 2 tablespoons of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, 1 tablespoon of chipotle powder, 1 tablespoon of Italian seasoning. This makes a pretty large batch of seasoning, and you won't necessarily use all of it. The nice thing is that if you double or triple the gumbo recipe, this part usually doesn't need much adjustment. Next, season your chicken thighs liberally with the seasoning blend, and either set them aside or place them in the fridge while you prep everything else. Now chop your onion, bell pepper, and celery, and combine them into a separate bowl. Next, prepare your chicken broth, or better than bouillon, mixture, and set that aside as well. Finally, slice your sausage and set it aside. Now before we start the roux, we're going to brown the sausage and cook the chicken. Start by placing a small amount of oil in the pot and browning the sausage. Once the sausage is done, remove it and cook the chicken thighs in the same pot. If needed, do this in batches so everything cooks evenly. Once the chicken and the sausage are finished, it's time to build the roux. In the pot, combine 1/2 cup of vegetable oil and 1 cup of flour over medium heat. Now this part takes patience. Stir constantly, and I mean constantly. A roux has 2 settings, perfect or suddenly on fire. We're looking for a medium to deep brown color, somewhere between milk chocolate or dark chocolate. This usually takes around 20 to 25 minutes. You can adjust the stove temperature as needed. If the roux starts cooking a little too fast, back the heat down until it gets under control. The darker the roux, the deeper and richer the gumbo flavor becomes. Once the roux reaches that chocolate color, add the onions, celery, and bell peppers. I also like to sprinkle in about a teaspoon of the seasoning blend at this point to give the vegetables a little extra kick. Stir everything together and cook for about 4 to 5 minutes until the vegetables soften. Next, add the sliced smoked sausage back into the pot. Cook this mixture for another few minutes so the sausage starts releasing that smoky flavor into the roux and vegetables. Once everything smells amazing and the vegetables have softened, it's time to build the body of the gumbo. Slowly pour in the chicken broth while stirring continuously. This is where the gumbo transforms from a thick roux into that rich, velvety base we're looking for. Bring everything up to a gentle boil, then reduce the heat to a simmer. At this point, add your chicken thighs back into the pot along with your bay leaves. Let the gumbo simmer for about an hour, stirring occasionally. The longer it simmers, the more the flavors come together. Gumbo is not a rush dish, it's slow conversation in a pot. After about an hour, taste for seasoning and serve it over the rice. And that's it, chicken and sausage gumbo. It takes a little patience, a lot of stirring, and probably a mildly sore shoulder, but it's one of the best comfort foods you can make.